Hi everyone and welcome back to my channel. In this video, I'm going to be talking about how to avoid getting pickpocketed in Paris. So if you're thinking of visiting Paris soon and if you have heard the countless stories of your friends or family members who have gotten pickpocketed, don't worry, I've got you covered. I've been living in France for 6 years now, and in those 6 years, I've traveled in and out of Paris multiple times, and I'm currently living in Paris for about 10 months right now. And throughout all of that time, I have managed to keep all of my belongings safe. So in this video, I'm going to be sharing the 5 tips that I apply every single day as a Parisian to avoid getting pickpocketed. Let's go. Paris, as well as any other big city or capital in the world and in Europe, is unfortunately known to having notorious pickpockets. And they are very present, especially in the public transportation as well as the tourist areas. So when you travel to these cities, you have to be alert of your surroundings at all times. Tip number 1 is to keep none of your prized belongings, meaning wallet, passport, and handphone, in your pockets. If you have a handbag, you want to keep it in front of you and zipped at all times. That way you're always able to keep an eye on your bag. If you're wearing a few layers, never keep your items in the first layer, but try to keep it in like the second layer or like pockets that are hidden inside. And if you have no other pockets and you have to keep them on like your first layer, then make sure it's zipped up, and if not, you want to keep your hand on that belonging at all times. For example, when I keep my phone in my pocket, I'm constantly holding on to my phone even if it's in the pocket. Tip number 2 is to tighten your grip. Now, I know this might sound ridiculous. When you use your mobile phone, especially in public transportation system or for directions, you automatically develop like a tighter grip to reduce the possibilities of someone snatching it out of your hand. And to go even further, you could probably get one of those cases that allows you to keep your phone attached to your body, or you could also get a silicone case which improves your grip, thus making it harder for it to be snatched out of your hand. Tip number 3 is to avoid flashy items. Especially in Paris, you want to pass off as a local, meaning avoid like really heavy flashy jewelry. So you want to disappoint those pickpockets, and the way to do that is to blend in as well as possible with the locals. If you're a tourist and if you arrive in Paris with like your big luggages, try your best to drop them off at your accommodation as soon as possible, because there have been cases where pickpocketers try to help you with your luggages and they sort of work like in pairs or like with a few other people. And in that moment of vulnerability where you are struggling with your luggages, you would be quite destabilized and you wouldn't notice that someone else is trying to open your zip and snatch something out of your pocket. Tip number 4 is to always have extra protection. Be it in the public transportation system or whether you're walking on the streets. If you have a handbag, for example, you always want to keep it like attached to your body like this, but in front of you. In front, always in front. And if you have a bag that's on the side, you also want to make sure that the zip is facing your front, so your handbag is this way and not this way. Because when your bag is this way, you will definitely notice if someone is trying to open it compared to when it's at the bag and you can't see what's happening. If you're carrying a backpack, for example, try to keep your important belongings in pouches or in compartments that are not easy to access. Now, I've been living in Paris for a while and I take the public transport every single day. And I always make it a point to keep my phone and my wallet zipped into a tiny compartment and that's zipped into my bag. And if you don't have compartments, you want to keep it like at the bottom of your bag and pile unvaluable things on top, like a scarf or like your pencil case. Because the thing is, when they have an opportunity to open your zip, if your item is right there, it makes it a lot easier for them to take it. But if they notice that there's nothing valuable, they're not going to waste their time and steal something from your bag. If you're wearing a long coat, for example, it's extremely handy because you can keep your items in your pocket of your pants or like your shirt or whatever you have on, and you know that that's going to be secure the moment you cover yourself with your coat. And the last tip is to be a lot less nice. This is a very unfortunate thing to say, but in reality, sometimes it's what you have to do to keep your belongings safe. There have been stories in Barcelona, for example, where people bump into you, and when you're destabilized at that moment, that's when they take the opportunity to pick your items. You also want to be wary of people who offer help. Most of the time, to be honest, it's all with good intentions. And if someone does offer to help you with your luggage, it's going to be too hard to run away with it anyway. But always remember to keep your bag or whatever little thing that you have on you close by. You also want to be careful of shows in public, because these shows attract crowds, and because your attention is focused on whatever is going on, you become a lot less alert in regards to your belongings. So I think the most important takeaway is to stay alert at all times. You do not want to let your guard down. Unless you are sure that your belongings are on you and they are really hard to access, then it's fine, you can chill a bit. But if that's not the case, then you do want to stay alert. This could imply to other things related to your safety besides pickpocketing, especially when you're solo traveling. Being alert is something that is so important because you are alone at that moment, and you want to make sure that you are aware of everything that's going around you in order to keep yourself safe. So we have come to the end of the video, and I sincerely hope that some of my tips will help you when you are traveling to a new city, especially Paris. Like I said, with being extra careful and with taking extra precautions, you will definitely minimize the possibilities of getting pickpocketed. So that's all for today's video. I hope that it managed to help. If it did, please give it a like and subscribe to my YouTube channel because that would help me a lot. I hope you have a great trip, and I'll see you in my next video. Ciao!